All right, we're doing the unboxing and a quick video to put this thing together. This is an Intex PureSpa Plus. It's the ultimate spa experience, bubble massage. We're gonna get right to it and put this together. First off, right off the bat, it's pretty heavy. It's gonna take at least 2 people to lift it and move it around. I have it in my garage. We're actually putting it upstairs, so we're gonna unbox it here in the garage and then bring it upstairs onto my balcony where it's gonna go. We'll do that right now. Okay, first step, you have to press down. This is the whole unit module here. You're gonna press down on this lever and then this will pop up. And then this is your control panel and you have to flip this up. That's the first step. Okay, the next step, after you open this up, is you're gonna flip the sides open just like so. And then there's a black tube in there, and one end has a flat, kind of a spade end, and that is gonna go toward you or away from the unit as you're gonna unhook the hose on the right, here at the right bottom. You're gonna unhook this, flip it open, there's a little slot there. You're gonna face the flat part toward you, away from the unit, slide it in, make sure there's a little notch here on the side, and that little notch catches on to a little strap here, and it secures it in place, just like that. And this is the air tube that's gonna fill up your hot tub. We have some family members here, they're standing on it because it's kind of windy here, but you're gonna put down the base. This is your bottom blanket that's going to help insulate the bottom of it. And it's important to remember the bubbles face the ground. So keep the bubbles on the ground. That's the next part. And then you're going to place your hot tub on top of it. Okay, well, we have a little bit of a setback, and that is, I was thinking ahead when we had this put in here as a little protective. Since it's going to be outside, I thought, let's go ahead and have it so we can plug it in and keep it protected. However, this plug is so ginormous that it will not shut in there. So we're gonna have to improvise here and use an extension cord until I can find a different replacement on that. But I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and plug it in to the extension cord and then plug it into the wall. So that's just gonna have to do for a short-term fix. But we need this plugged in, it needs to get power so that we can blow up the hot tub. So that's where we're at right now. A little helpful tip is on the instructions, you can see there, it shows the hot tub and it's pointing to one of the several little pipes that come out, tubes that come out. And so that is what you're gonna be looking at. Our next step is to place the air hose on it and fill it up, and I'll show you that here in a second. Okay, so here's a conglomeration of different tubes coming out of the side here. This is the air hole, or the air tube. You just twist this, open it up, and then you have this end of the black tube that you just inserted into the unit, and you're gonna insert it, and you're just gonna lightly twist to the right. Doesn't take too much, and it's locked in place. Perfect. Now I think that the next step is going to be filling it with air. That's where we're at. Okay, so it's still deflated. We're going to inflate it now. So we have to press the power button. And then the next step is the air bubble button, which is right here in the corner. We're going to press that, and that should start inflating the hot tub. Oops! I don't know if that's supposed to happen. Let's try that again. 8 to 10 minutes, it says, to fill up. We'll see where it is. the instructions said that it would take between 8 and 10 minutes, but we found that it took about 4.5. And it's, again, it is, what did they say? It needs to be firm, but not overly hard. So do not overinflate it. So it needs to be firm to the touch, but not hard. So there's a little bounce here to it. And it's enough for me to sit on. I'm about 185 or so. I think that's pretty good. One thing to note is, though, as soon as you stop, as soon as you hit the bubbles button to stop it, the air from going in, it automatically starts deflating. It doesn't just stop. So you have to unscrew it and put the cap back on right away, so you don't lose the air that you have. So that's where we're at. Okay, the next step is to fill up the lid. Air that up. Now it comes in 2 parts, but they come together. So one thing I've seen from other videos is that you should not take basically the donut out from inside. Keep it in there and fill it up while it's still inside, because that's where it's supposed to stay, and it'll inflate and get nice and snug in there. So that is our next step, is filling up the lid. Lid is the same process as basically the same process as filling up the hot tub. You're just going to insert that air tube into the hole there, and then you're going to press the bubble button, which is what I'll do. So I filled up the lid. The only thing is this did have a tendency, as you could see, as you saw before, of it kind of sliding out. So I kind of had to baby it, keep it kind of plugged in there. But the most important thing is to make sure that this outside pocket stays along the outside. So I kind of went around as it was filling up and made sure that this was on the outside and was going to keep it inside, because this is going to be tough if you already have it inflated to keep it inside this lid. But other than that, not too bad. All right, so we're moving on. Okay, so the next section here, the next step is to connect these hoses, or these pipes, to these pipes. So we're going to disconnect this air hose. That's going to come straight out. We're going to place that off to the side for right now, and then close up this lid. I think we're done with that. And now we just connect the different hoses together, and we'll see where that leads us after this. Okay, first things first, when you're connecting it, take the caps off. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. We'll take one off of each side, and then we will connect them. There's 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll connect them together. Okay, so I connected them. These two seem to come together pretty well. I just had a problem with this top one. It was just at a weird angle, and so I felt like I was cross-threading it, but I think it's on there right. What eventually helped is I put my hand underneath the hot tub, and I just kind of lifted it up a little bit, and that seemed to help with the angle as I used my other hand to tighten it. But that was the only sticking point. The other two seem to come together pretty easily, and so they're hand tightened. It says not to use any excess tools because you don't want to break it. But I think we're good to go here. Another thing to recognize is that these all have like rubber gaskets around the thread. So if you're screwing it in, and then you don't feel like you got it on there straight, and you start to unscrew it, just make sure that rubber gasket doesn't pop off. You want to put it back on, and then start all over. But make sure you don't lose those rubber gaskets. You don't want your pipes leaking when you get this thing started up. Okay, so the next step, after you've put your tubes together, you're going to push the sides down on each each one of those, and then you're going to connect the filters. And the filters go on the lower threads below the C. So you can see a C there, and see a C on that side, and they just screw right in. Now the instructions say that before you use the spa, you take those out. So you only put them in after you're done. I guess that makes sense because you don't want people hitting them or knocking them if they're inside. So personally like the filters on when I'm in the hot tub with other people, but I guess that would make sense. But that's what the instructions say, is to take these off before you get in. I apologize for all the wind. We've got a little bit of wind out here on the balcony. Okay, so now we are filling it up. It's probably going to take a while. We've already been going for about 3 or 4 minutes, and we just got the bottom barely covered. Kids are really excited. Okay, so we finished filling up the hot tub at about 11 p.m. It took us about 2 hours to actually fill it all the way up between the max and the minimum line. And we were using a pocket hose. So a garden hose may fill it up quicker, but it took us about 2 hours. And then we heated it up. And we heated it up to 104 degrees. And that took a good 16 hours. So don't plan on jumping in on it right away. It's gonna take some time to heat. And it did get to 104, and it was plenty warm. So it was awesome. One of the things before you do your placement, a couple of things that I feel like you need to know. You need to make sure that your placement takes into consideration all of these straps. So every so often you're gonna have this down, especially you're gonna wanna buckle this down, especially if it's outside somewhere. I'm kind of in a windy area, and so I need these down. But in order to reach every single one of these straps, I need access all the way around the hot tub. So I have that. I think, if I could do it again, maybe I would give us a couple more inches on this side. But another thing that you really need to consider as well when you are placing this is that this is a cover that does not, that just doesn't hide away too easily. So it's not going to compact, it's not going to do anything. So you need to also have some space of where you're going to put it. I like to put it right back here. It's a little tight, but it seems to work. So that's that. Another thing is that the filters are in, and the instructions said that you need to remove them, or you should remove them when it's in use. The instructions also say that it has something to do with the Virginia law. I'm not in Virginia, and so I think it makes more sense. It's common sense to us to leave them in. We don't want something to get into the motor if somebody's in there and have it lock up and ruin the motor. So I'm deciding that we're going to keep them in when we're in there. Another thing too is that with the temperature, when it did take 16 hours for me, but obviously I'm in a tropical environment. It doesn't get any cooler here than about 85 degrees. So it still took 16 hours. And also when you're heating it up, you're gonna wanna make sure you have that insulated top on there. I think that will expedite the heating process. So other than that, I think that's about it, with the exception of you also wanna make sure that you have the chemicals. You want to go to Home Depot, carries spa chemicals. You want your pH up, your pH down, your anti-foam, your the stuff that makes it clear. You want all that stuff to change your alkalinity, because you don't want to go around with this. This can get pretty nasty pretty quick, depending upon how many bodies you have in there. So All that being said, we jumped in it last night. The kids absolutely love it. There are some things that you could get with it. We bought 2 of the headrests that slide on the side. You know, we found that they weren't super necessary. They don't make anything a lot more comfortable than what it already is. It's, you know, there's no contoured seating lounges or anything like that in it. It's just a flat bottom, but it is comfortable. One thing that you may want to consider is a little ring that we got here that you can blow up and sit in the pool. And this actually is pretty nice. It kind of has you float, and if you sit down low enough, you have a nice pillow for your head, and you kind of relax in there. You can't fit too many in there because it is kind of wide. It bends to you, but it is a nice little add-on. So that's your review. Hopefully you found it informative. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. And if you want to hear another review, we have a Skyfort 2 review that we did for our kids, and they absolutely love it. And there's a full review for the construction and build of that. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. So this is the 2-year update for the Intex PureSpa Plus inflatable hot tub. It's a 6-person inflatable hot tub that we purchased and used for approximately a year. We thoroughly enjoyed it. We used it multiple times a week, mainly on the weekends, but very frequently on weekdays as well. Our kids used it, and we used it, and we really enjoyed it. After about 8 months, we noticed a small leak, so it was kind of deflating, and it wasn't really an issue because whenever we would switch out the water, we would just inflate it again, and so that kept it going, and we still used it. Our utility bills kind of jumped up with its use at approximately $50 a month. It's going to vary depending upon where you live and what your utility rates are. But for us, keeping it plugged in the entire time, it was about $50, $75 a month. It would kind of range depending upon, you know, what the season was. After about a year, I sold it to my neighbor because we moved. I didn't want to take it with us. I thought it has a bigger chance of getting hurt or injured or, you know, ruptured, damaged on the way to the next place. So I sold it for $300. So, you know, all in, I was probably out like $500, recouped $300 after a year, a little bit over a year. So that was really nice that it had some value. And I've talked with my neighbor. He said that the leak has gotten worse, but they still use it. Overall, its utility lasted about 2 years. So, you know, the question is, would I get it again? Would I get the Intex PureSpa Plus again? And the answer is absolutely yes. We would totally get it again. We enjoyed it. You know, it cost us about $800 to buy it and to have it shipped to our location. And we got a lot of use out of it. One of the reasons, you know, in addition to using it all the time, another reason why I would get it again is because of the location that I wanted it placed. So we had it on a balcony. I don't know how I would get a traditional hot tub to that location. It didn't have the 240 volt outlet that a traditional hot tub would need to run those pumps. Didn't have the drainage there, so it would be very difficult to kind of get a regular hot tub there. So that's another one. And I wanted a hot tub. Another reason is like I had a back injury at one point, and it didn't matter. It lasted for weeks, this injury. and it didn't matter, what, pain medication or massage therapy or whatever I was using was not working. But the hot tub totally eased the pain and was very therapeutic in my recovery. So to me, I would have paid, thousands of dollars just to have that relief during that time, and it was the only relief I got. So, the logistics of getting it to where it was, our usage, the therapeutic value that I have for it, and my family's use and their enjoyment of it. It was fantastic. So I would get it again. I would definitely consider it again. And hopefully this helps you in your decision on whether or not you want to get it. Good luck in your decision. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe for future videos on how to make your home a haven. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.